What's up, everybody? My name is Joshua Yoder, and this is the Joshua Yoder Show. And today, we're going to talk a little pro wrestling. And my guest today knows a lot about that, long-time career. His name is Tyler Symz. Tyler, thank you for coming on.
All right, it's a pleasure, Josh.
Yeah, so how long has it been now since you've been in wrestling?
30 years. This is my 30th year.
Oh, geez. Does it feel like it's been that long?
Yes. My body tells me it's been that long.
But hey, man, if it's something you love, you'd go through it, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's addicting. It's like a drug, I guess. I've never done drugs, but I'm assuming that this is the addiction that they feel.
Well, you hear it all the time, so there's gotta be some truth to it, right?
Oh yeah, especially when you get the crowd into it. You hear the crowd yelling at you or cheering for you. I mean, either or. I mean, it just runs through you.
So you say you're in your 30th year, so 1995 is when you debuted?
Actually, September of '95.
Jeez. How did it feel when you realized that you hit that mark?
Old. Especially when you talk to a lot of the guys that are in the business now, and you're like, "Oh, well, I started in '95," and they're like, "Man, I wasn't even born yet."
I was barely alive when you
Yeah,
started them.
but yeah,
Uh,
a lot of the guys now, it's like they're not even born before around '95. You're like, "Man, I'm old."
oh man, but let's go back a little bit here before we get into your career. What got you into pro wrestling?
Me and my friend, we always watched wrestling. Our parents used to take us to the shows at Madison Square Garden, the Spectrum, the Civic Center back in when WCW, well, NWA back then, but and all that used to do it. We used to go watch all the shows there. Our parents used to take us, and then we used to run around. Before there was real backyard wrestling, uh, me and my friend would run around town and grab people's old mattresses that were around and take them to my backyard, and we would just uh, do moves and stuff.
No, man, that's awesome. And who was the guy that, was your guy, I guess you could say? Who was your favorite?
Uh, Back in the day, it was the Rock and Roll Express. Now it's Chris Jericho.
Hey, those are excellent choices. And to be honest with you, a lot of the wrestlers today should go look up the Rock and Roll Express, an underrated tag team in my
I've
humble
actually
opinion.
got to wrestle him twice.
I bet that was exciting, wasn't it?
Oh, that was amazing. Like when you get a chance to wrestle the guys that basically made you want to be a wrestler, it was amazing.
Now, moving forward, when was the first moment you realized, like, hey, I want to, get involved in wrestling? Like, how did that come about?
Um, Honestly, my friend started doing it before me, and he was letting me know that he started doing it. He was doing it when he was just first graduated high school. He was living in New Jersey. I was down in South Carolina, and I decided to move up with him, and I started basically right then and there. I mean, I've always wanted to, but I didn't know you actually could actually do it.
Was it fair to say, especially back then in the 90s, like you thought like what you see on TV is where you probably had to go?
Oh yeah, yeah, you definitely. There was very few schools and training centers nowadays. You throw a rock and you're pretty much hitting a training center somewhere or someone trying to train wrestlers. So I mean, they're everywhere now.
Yeah, some more trustworthy than others, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, of course. That's in everything though. That's every business.
No, that is the truth. But what was the training like for you back then?
Uh, we went probably we I trained at Iron Mike Sharp's wrestling school in Brick, New Jersey, and we were there probably 4 times a week. We would get done work at like 4 or 5 at night. Uh, Basically get there about 6, and we wouldn't leave till it was like 11 o'clock. We did that like 4 or 5 days a week.
And not to mention you probably had a regular job on the side.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was we did our day job in the day, and then we went there at night.
Hey, whatever works. And when how long were you how do I want to ask this? Like how long could you say you were trained before you had your official first match?
uh, Honestly, truth be told, my first match was before I was actually even trained.
What?
Yeah.
How'd that come about?
All right. When I moved up from South Carolina up to Jersey, my friend was the world champ of the federation that he was doing the shows at, and he had a show that night. He's like, "Here, come with a show." So I went to the show, and when he gets there, he was told that his opponent for the main event that night wasn't there, and he was like, "Oh." Then the promoter's like, "Oh, we'll figure something out." He's like, "Okay, that's cool." So then he was talking. He goes, "Hey, do you want to do it?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You know how to, I mean, you can pretty much figure. I mean, we've been doing stuff like this since we were like 10." So I was like, I guess. I mean, because we would do stuff because he would always, whenever we hung out and visited, he would teach me stuff and go through stuff. But it was like I never actually had a training at that time. So I was like, sure. So we went to the promoter, and he told the promoter that I had training down in South Carolina, and I was wrestling there for 6 months. And the guy's like, "Oh, okay. I got nobody else."
So basically, you kind of got your way into a world title shot.
Yeah. So he grabbed me another pair of tights that he had, and one of the other guys let me borrow their boots, and I had my first match. Never main event for the world title. Uh, Never with the day of training. Actual training. I mean, I won't say I didn't know pretty much what I was doing, because I mean, I would watch it all my life. We did the stuff in the backyards and stuff, and he would show me the actual ins and outs of the stuff that we needed to know a little bit. But actual training, I never did it until afterwards. And then afterwards, it hit me like you know, I was addicted, and that's when I went full tilt, and we were there like 4 times a week, 5 times a week, just doing it.
Do you ever look back on that match?
Actually, I used to have a video of it. I don't anymore, but honestly, it was not as bad. I mean, from what my matches were afterwards, it wasn't as good. But I mean, considering it was my first match, no training, he carried me because he was great.
No, absolutely. And I gotta ask, you had to be nervous about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And but as even today, I still get nervous. But as soon as I walk through the curtain and I step in the ring, uh, I mean, I don't. I'm the nerves are gone. But if you don't get nervous before you walk through that curtain, you shouldn't be doing it anymore.
Well, yeah, no, that's kind of like what I've always heard when for all the times we've known each other. But because like, isn't that like the whole thing is if you're not nervous, you're not focused, kind of thing.
Yeah, you're not or caring. I would say or caring.
Yeah, because when it comes to pro wrestling, it can be very dangerous if you're not careful.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. If you're, not, I still get nervous 30 years in. So
So I guess my next question would probably be, when you got your training actually started, how long could you say you trained before you had like a legitimate match after training?
um, back in the day, back at Sharps, it was a lot different than other places around here now. There, they would do the train. You would train, and like every other Saturday at the training school, they would put on a show for like some fans and stuff. So I mean, I was getting matches every like 2 weeks while I was still training. So I mean, I think a lot of the wrestling schools now are missing that. I mean, most of the guys that are training usually, uh, I won't say aren't fully trained before they go out on their own, or they think they're ready. But I mean, with the schools back in the day, you were still training while you were doing spot shows. You weren't doing like say I right now I wrestle for 3WA, New Era, stuff like that. But just say I was training at 3WA. If I was training for them and doing their at their school and everything, I wasn't going to other places and doing shows yet until I was fully trained. Because if you go out and tell somebody, "Hey, I was trained like me, I was trained by Mike Sharp. If I was training Mike Sharps, and if I went over somewhere else and did a bad job, that makes his school look bad. So they didn't really want you going other places until you were ready. So when you say, "Hey, I was trained here," that make other people want to go, "Oh, okay, I might want to go train there." So
No, that makes sense. And to be honest with you, I'm surprised you don't see that more like nowadays because I've always been a believer of this myself, and we've talked about it before off camera. Like, how do you know what you can do or what you're comfortable with if you don't do things in front of a crowd?
oh yeah, that's what I used to love. We used to have so much fun thinking about what we wanted to do on these shows for the schools. I mean, it was amazing. Like you got so into it because it was new to you and you're trying new things, and like it was just honestly, it was probably some of the most fun times I've had doing those matches, doing those shows.
Well, yeah, you're learning and you're meeting people, building connections. Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know, and I could be wrong for saying this. This is my I'm just curious. Do you think it'd be easier to build people up in wrestling that way than compared to a lot of ways nowadays?
Uh, I won't say build people up because I mean, still you're doing school shows, so you're not getting full big crowds, and they're not getting exposure anywhere because there wasn't really TV or video doing these shows. Just the crowd was there, and you were just used to getting in front of the crowd. I mean, the the training center would record them so you can watch them. Like we would do the matches on the Saturdays, and then like Monday or Tuesday we'd be in there and we'd watch our matches, and they critique it and tell you what you did wrong, and uh, what you could improve on, stuff you did real good, and stuff like that I still do now. Like I'll look at a lot of my matches and I'll be like, maybe I should have done this spot before I went and did this spot. And then if I would have done this or let him do that, like you critique everything. So I mean, I took that from when I was doing those shows.
No, I agree with that philosophy because, like, from what I remember when I was with you guys and we were talking wrestling, all that stuff, I was always remember is this okay, if you like something, keep that in your playbook. And if there's something that you didn't like, you either work on it or just scrap it and try to come up with something else.
Oh yeah, there's like a lot of times where I'll think of a cool spot that I liked, and then think of another way to get into that spot so I can still use that spot, but it looks different the next time someone sees it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that works out great. And I actually wanted to ask you for my next question is how did you come up with the Tyler Symz character?
For when I first started, I was just uh, hot stuff Jeff Grant, and this one guy I honestly can't remember his name because it never like went to may became anything. He wanted to start a new company around down in the Philly area, and he wanted to change some of our names. So he wanted me to think of a new name. So I like the name Tyler. So that was one of the names I was definitely going to use Tyler. So we sat there on his computer for like 4 hours one night after training, and we're looking at the computer trying to think of names that would go with Tyler. And then I was like, Sims is good, but I changed the SIMS to SYMZ to just make it different and hit better. So, but other than that, I mean, it took like 4 hours to think of a name.
Hey, and that whatever works.
Yeah.
And I always looked at your character, and I could be wrong, but I always saw when I saw your character, you always did kind of remind me of like the whole rock and roll kind of feel, like the Rock and Roll Express.
Oh yeah,
And
I've always minus the bandanas all over, but yeah, you always used to like the rocking roll. Like I always like had Poison as my entrance music for the most part until now, but it was always like yeah that the '80s kind of way.
like the hair metal bands stuff.
Yeah, had the long hair, everything back then.
Yeah, and I want to also talk about some of the stories I remember you used to tell me too. And correct me if I remember this, but back in the day, you used to work for a guy who's sadly no longer with us, Dennis Corluzza, correct?
I've done a couple shows for NWA, NWA New Jersey. My biggest thing was NWA New York.
Oh, who ran that promotion?
I want to say Eacher was his last name. Dennis Eacher, I think. And he it started off RCW up in New York, and he changed it. He bought into the NWA, and he was affiliated with them. It was the NWA New York, and me and my buddy became their tag team champions, and we held them on. We held the titles for like 16 months.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we'll get. Oh, trust me, we'll get to that in a moment. But going back to like the whole NWA thing for a lot of these kids, like back then, the NWA was kind of like beaten
Oh,
down.
back then the NWA was the thing. Like they had NWAs, like it was one big company, but they had a bunch all over the place. And one cool thing they had was at the time they used to call this. They had their dominant dozen, which was the 12 best tag teams in all throughout the NWA. And me and my tag partner, we were Extreme Fahrenheit, and we were number 2 for 6 months.
Man, that's awesome. But how'd that feel like going back then? Because did you ever feel like you were trying to help revive the NWA at that point? Because what people remember the NWA at that point back in the 90s was you guys were coming off of well, the ECW situation where they threw the belt down and all that stuff. So did you ever feel like you had pressure to like try to rebuild the brand after that?
Yeah. No, not really. I mean, the ECW thing was kind of a little bit after the NWA, like when when they became the not the full blown NWA, WCW took over. ECW was a little after that because we were doing an angle in for Carluzzo, NW New Jersey, and they were doing Invasion with ECW, and they were coming, and ECW was way big at the time. So I mean, we weren't really resurrecting the NWA. I mean, we were pretty high up there, but we were never gonna take over ECW, WCW, or WWF or WWE at the then. But we were never gonna surpass any of them. Everyone knew that, but it was one of the major independents, like you had CZW and the NWA were two of the main ones around the East Coast.
Do you ever, since you started out like in the 90s, you know, because ECW was pretty much red hot by the time you were coming along, you ever thought about trying to reach out, maybe get bookings there?
I've done a lot of their, they did workout sessions before their shows, and we would used to go there to all their workout shows, and you used to do matches in front of Tracy Smothers. Shane Douglas was there. A couple other people would sit there and watch you, and then after the training session, they would let you hang out backstage and up there in the press box and everything and watch the shows. But nothing ever came of them. But you used to be able to work out with them and do stuff, and they would tell you a bunch of stuff, like give you little pointers and stuff like that. So that helped a lot too.
Now, that's pretty good, especially when you have the guys like Shane Douglas and Tracy Smothers who's been around the block.
Yeah. And we were close with the Pit Bulls, Gary Wolf and Anthony. We were close with them. We worked them a bunch of times. So I mean, they took care of us a lot of times too.
No, that's awesome. And I don't know, just the idea of like you guys could have made it to ECW or maybe it's like any bigger promotion. Like, was that ever like a goal where you're like, oh man, could I make it up there?
Oh yeah, I mean it's always a goal. If you don't have a goal to want to make it big, then it's just I mean I don't know why you would put your body through the punishment that you actually do take doing this.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, did you ever have any looks with WCW or WWE at that point?
No, I mean I had a tryout offer, but I didn't take it from WWE.
Oh, oh, just if you may I ask why?
I my wife at the time was pregnant with our kid, and I felt if I did get in, not saying I would have, but if I did, I would have not been around for my kid, and family's always number one priority for me.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
But let's go back a little bit. You mentioned it earlier about you were in a tag team It's actually one of my favorite stories. I always loved listening to you talk about was you and your partner becoming Extreme Fahrenheit. How'd that come along?
Well, we used to feud everywhere, and then the way we became a actual team was when we were working NWA New York. We were in a big feud. We had the first ever strap match there. We had a ladder match. We had a bunch of matches there for them, big feud. And then after the feud was pretty much over, they they wanted to break in the new tag champs, so they had a big tournament, and it was a round robin tournament. They had to pick names out of the hat, and we were actually the only team that got picked that weren't a real team. So it was just me and him at odds the whole the first round. We couldn't work together at all, but ended up winning, and we got better at teaming as the tournament went on. And then the finals, we worked as a pretty good team and ended up winning the titles and held on to them for about 16 months. And that's basically how we became the tag team. I mean, once we won them titles, we were officially a team, and then we started working everywhere as a tag team.
And how many territories could you say you worked during as a tag team?
We were everywhere. I mean, there was so many. We went down to we did NWA Wildside down in Georgia. We went up to New England and did NWA New England. We were CZW's tag champs for a while. We're 3WA. We had a bunch of tag team. We were all over the place.
No, and how long were you guys were a tag team?
I mean, honestly, up until I guess we really haven't wrestled for the same companies for the last couple of years. But up until then, whenever we were together at shows, we pretty much teamed. So it's probably a 20-year tag team.
Hey, and there's nothing wrong with that. It worked out for the Midnight Express, the Rock and Roll Express, and
yeah. I mean, because a lot of shows we were tag team, and then if we did our separate shows, we were basically winning world titles.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I wish tag teams were more legitimate. Now, I guess I don't know if legitimate's the right word, but more emphasis on tag team wrestling because I really enjoy it, and I think it's a fun thing that people can do. If they're not always in the main event or stuff like that.
No, it takes a lot more thinking and timing to get a good tag match because you got to depend on your partner and the other two guys to be where they need to be at the same time to make it work. So, I mean, I honestly think it's a lot harder than singles matches.
Yeah, no, I definitely can agree with that. But I guess what I'm just saying is I guess there's more ways to be different, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember back in the day, like long before I was even born, there was you got your single stars, but then you got guys who can tag. It's just something to fill up the card, and I just think that's something that is missing in wrestling.
Yeah, nowadays you'd see a bunch of they just throw people together, and even on WWE and AEW, they don't have so many teams. They just throw two people together, and oh yeah, they're a team today.
Yeah, which that kind of sucks because they make it. I don't know if they think of it as a less than kind of thing than being a mega star, but
yeah.
But if you don't mind me asking, without getting yourself or anyone else in trouble, do you have any fun stories like road trips, during your time?
A bunch of road trips. One of my funniest road trip was we were driving to a show, and I honestly can't remember the place, but it was me, Michael Mars, Z-Bar, and Nick Burke, and this one guy who didn't wrestle often, but I forget his name. We were driving, and I was in the back seat, and I had no idea why, but I was asking a lot of questions, and then so Mike Mars turns to me and goes, "Just shut up, no more talking. Don't talk for the rest of the trip." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So I leaned back and I was dozing off, looking. All of a sudden, and this was back before you had GPS, so you had handwritten directions to these places. So we're driving, and I see the exit, and not one person says anything, and he just drove right past the exit. So I saw it. I was like, okay. So I'm just laid back. About a half hour later, Mike, who's driving's like, where the F is this exit? He goes, I can't. And I was like, you passed it like a half hour ago. He's like, what? And Z-Bar and Nick look at me to go, why did you say anything? I said, I was told not to say a word the rest of this trip. And Mike looks and goes, I can't even be mad at him. So we had to drive all the way back to get to the exit. I'm like, hey. But yeah, Mike's like, I can't even be mad at him.
Yeah, you committed. You committed.
Yep. And yeah, there was one time we were supposed to work the pit bulls in Delaware, and I was sick as a dog. We were literally pulling over, and I was throwing up because I was I was like so sick. And so we get there to do the show, and in the middle of the match, I had to climb under the ring to throw up because I was sick, and we still did the whole match.
Oh gosh, that's. I mean,
But
I'll
yeah,
give you.
there's a bunch of roads. There's a bunch of road stories. I mean, it was the roads, like a lot of time, the drive to the shows and home are some of the best things.
Another story I loved you telling me, I think is really cool, is the one where you told me about your match you had with Scott Steiner.
Oh yeah, with the one when I had my daughter with, and he had her sitting on his lap while we talked over the whole match.
Yeah, the one where he's like, he said,
the
"Hey,
table."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We were because the finish we were supposed to use a table at Lockhaven University, and so we had the whole match planned, everything, table spot. We're in the gorilla position getting ready, and this was for 3WA. Dino Santa comes up to us and goes, "Hey guys, let's not do how about we don't do the table tonight? The gym is something," and he said they're not sure if they want to. We're like, okay. So we're about to go through. Scott looks at me and goes, "Are we still doing the table?" I'm like, I don't know. It's up to you. What are you going to say to you? He's like, all right. He's like, we're doing it. I said, okay. I said, let's do it. So we ended up doing it. But the funniest thing is, so not only did we do the table spot, my manager grabbed the wrong table, and we ended up breaking, and it was the college's basketball scoreboard table. Cost Dino like $1,500.
Oh man,
yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
Was he? What would you say some of your favorite people, like back in the day, kind of wrestlers that you got to enjoy wrestling with?
I had a great tag match with Steve Carino and Lance Diamond, Simon Diamond.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were the NWA New Jersey tag champs at the time. We were the NWA New York tag champs, and we did a 2 out of 3 falls match to unify the titles, and we went to a 1-hour draw.
Oh, nice. I bet.
Yeah.
Like, what people may not realize, like, it's difficult enough to do like 5 to 10 minute matches.
Yep.
How do you pace like a whole hour match?
I mean, you gotta take your time and where you're doing certain spots. I mean, I had a lot of help, like Simon and Steve Carino. They were like the best out there at the time because they were ready to move up. So they were ready. So they helped us out a lot. I mean, we could handle it. I mean, my cardio was a lot better back then, but they helped us with the pace. And so, I mean, it was actually pretty easy. It didn't even feel like we were out there that long. I mean, I've done a lot of long matches. I did one time I was at the Cecil County Fair, and I had to wrestle Doink the Clown in the main event, and we went 45 minutes. And I think the funniest thing is, I think I beat him up for 44 of them. All he did was I came off the top, he threw the confetti in my face and rolled me up. That was the only offense he had the whole match.
Now, is this the Matt Bourne?
No, this was Bobby Starr.
Because there's been like what, 50 doinks now?
Yeah, there was a good amount. Yeah, but I mean, I've had a lot of the pit bulls were good to work with. My tag partner at the time, Michael Mars. I mean, he's one of the best on the indies. He could have made it if he really put it out there and really wanted to. I'm sure he could have made it. So he's real good. I mean, I've had so many back in the day. Z-Bar, Nick Burke, they were really good. A lot of the guys from CZW when we wrestled for them. I mean, back in the day, there was, like everywhere you went, you had a bunch of talent.
Well, do you think that's also kind of frustrating? There's a lot of guys I'm like, wow, how did this person not get noticed? But then you think like technology also had a factor where it's like it's kind of hard to like really showcase talent. They were like, hey, like there's some people trying to make it, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's easier to get noticed now, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I think there was just so many good people, and back then there wasn't as many spots, so
No,
it was harder. That
yeah, no, absolutely. And plus you guys didn't have the pro wrestling tees and all that stuff.
no, no, not at all. We didn't have any of that stuff.
How do you normally sell merch back in your day?
Basically the same way I do now. I mean, I just get it made and ringside or at the table. Basically, that's how we did it back in the day too. But you didn't have as much back then.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, obviously, like you said before, you can like watch wrestling matches all over the place nowadays thanks to YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Like if you want to, like, yeah, pretty much you want to check out any indie wrestler or anybody, you just type their name in, and there's something on YouTube most likely.
Has there ever been a match that you like had? You're like, oh man, I wish more people would have solved this.
Oh yeah, there's been a bunch of them. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I would. Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of them. Like that one with Steve Corino and Simon Diamond. That was on TV up in New York because back in the day they had an hour show before Raw came on Mondays, and we took up the whole hour.
Jeez. I
So I
bet
mean,
that how'd
some
that
of the
make
lucky
you?
fans in New York got to see it.
No, that's awesome. Like how'd that make you feel? You're like, hey, we got a whole episode for us.
I was great, but I mean, I was more happy and honored that they were willing to go an hour with us because they were ready to move on to ECW, all that WWE and all. They were just waiting their turn, and they're you know two guys that have been in the business maybe 7, 8 years, if that. They were like, here, we'll take you guys to an hour, and then they were like, yeah, we'll do a draw. So it wasn't even like they were going over on us.
Well, yeah, and speaking of TV and all that stuff, because you mentioned you worked with the Pitbulls a number of times, have you ever thought about asking them to get you in the ECW or
No,
maybe?
I mean, I've never took it upon myself. Even to this day, I don't ask people to book me. Uh, so I don't ask. If honestly, if my thinking is if I'm good enough, someone will reach out and book me. I mean, you've sent tapes out and stuff like that, but I don't go to guys and go, oh, hey, can you talk to them for me and get me booked and stuff like. I don't do it. I mean, people have said something to promoters, and so one time I was living in Bristol, Pennsylvania, and there was a show like 10 minutes away, and I was like, I'm not doing anything this tonight, so I'm just gonna go check it out. So I like to check out shows if I am not doing anything. So I just went there, and the Patriot with Tom Brandy, he was sitting in the locker room, and I was like, hey, what's up? Because I knew Tom from a couple shows. I worked him a couple shows about months before that, and he was like, oh, what are you doing? You on the show? I said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not, Buck. I'm just checking it out. So he's like, hold on a second, let me see. So he goes and he yells to the promoter, and he says, hey, this is my good friend Jeff. I said, next time you have a show here, he's on it. So
No,
so stuff like that happens, but I don't go up to like, hey, can you talk to them and get me booked? Because I feel I want to earn my spots. Like, so I want to do it with my work, not people saying, oh, you know, can you do me a favor and do this for him?
no, that's fair. I mean, heck, back in the day, wasn't it like, hey, excuse me, sir, can I have at least 5 minutes?
Yeah, you know, actually, all you would do is you'd hand him a videotape and your promo picture, and it had all your information on there, what your phone number, everything, and tell them, if you get a chance, take a look at this, and they would contact you if they wanted to use you.
No, man. That'll work. I mean, that's what they call networking back then.
Yeah, back that's how you had to do it. Now you can send people emails and oh, any promoter can just Google your name on YouTube and watch you.
Well, and also too, like what it also, I think it also helps the promoters, like if they're looking for like a certain kind of character or gimmick or something to try to help, build their brand up, is it's like a win-win for everybody, I guess.
Oh yeah, of course.
Now, who would you say is your favorite, like a person that you got to meet, like in the wrestling business, like a big name?
Well, Rock and Roll Express was fun to hang out and talk to. I had as much crap that people say about Scott Steiner. I have nothing but respect and fond memories of him. We were great both times we wrestled each other. I mean, he was awesome in the locker room with me. I mean, not to say he wasn't with everybody else there. I mean, but yeah, I didn't see anything that people say, oh yeah, his temper. None of that. I didn't see any of that.
No, I
He
mean,
was always great with me. Um, Tom Brandy's unbelievable. He's one of the best guys. King Kalua, they're awesome, and they've been doing it forever, and they're unbelievable.
no, that's awesome. And it's like, has there been any ones that you were just like, I don't know about this guy?
Not, not really. I mean, I don't really pay too much attention. Like, all you've always been taught from day one is keep your eyes and ears open, your mouth shut. So I try to just stay away from drama. When I get in the locker room, I get with the boys that I'm close with, and we just hash out memories. So because a lot of times you don't live anywhere near a lot of the guys you go to do shows with, so this is your time to catch up and just joke around and stuff like that and tell stories of what's up. So I mean, pretty much you're with your own little group nowadays.
Well, no, that's fair enough. And plus, also too, it's like believe like half of what you hear and none of what you see, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yep. Yep. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say nothing's ever happened. Like I'll say, about 6, 7 months ago, I was at a show. I'm not going to mention names, but I was at a show, and me and my son Kai, we were supposed to win the tag titles that night from this one team. And when we were talking over the match, I was telling him like, what I was thinking for like the finish and some of the hot tag, like what we would do. And the one guy looks at me and goes, "You're just going to call the whole match for us?" I said, "No, I'm calling what we're doing." He's like, "Oh." And I said, "Oh, for the finish, we can do this." And he goes, "Why are you going to call the finish? It's ours." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "We're going over." I said, "No, you're not." He goes, "Yeah, we are." I said, "No." I said, "I was told we're going over tonight." I said, "I mean, you go talk to the promoter." I said, "I'm just doing what I was told." So he walked back. So we talked over pretty much this whole like big old match, what we were going to do. So they come back and he's like, "Oh, okay. How about it'll be cool. Why don't we do a flash pin? We'll just attack Kai at the beginning of the match. We'll do a beat him down for a couple minutes, and then we'll go for like a big suplex, and he'll small package me out of it. 1, 2, 3." I'm like, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life." But I'm like, whatever. I mean, because the guys, they obviously didn't want to work once they found out they were jobbing. So we just went with it, and that was it.
I never understood like the whole people refusing the job thing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you're paying me to do a job. You tell me what, like, at my if I went to my regular job and my boss said, "Oh, I want you to do this," and I said, "No, I'm not doing that today," I don't think I'd have that job off long. Like, I don't understand. They're paying you to do this. Like, I don't. I've never turned down having to do a job to somebody.
Well, and also too, like, I mean, yes, do I think, in some degree, I do think wins and losses matter, but there's got to be a point to it. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
it's the way you win and lose too,
yeah,
and who.
yeah, it's like it's all
But
part of continuing a story.
yeah, like there's times I don't agree with the way that my match is supposed to end, but it's just the way it is. Like, I mean, they're paying me to do a job. I'm not always going to agree with it. I'm not the boss.
Yeah. And it's like I said, it's a creative business. And just because someone disagrees with it doesn't mean like they hate the person or the
Yeah,
promoter.
and even if I don't agree with it, I'm gonna like I'll say like nowadays. I mean, I've been doing this long enough. If I don't agree with something, I'll say something. But if they're still set on doing it, I mean, okay, you're paying me to do it. Okay. I mean, I said I put my 2 cents in. I don't agree with it, but I'm still gonna do it.
Yeah, and again, it's not like you're being disrespectful. It's just
No.
you're like, oh yeah, like oh, it's just not. How about this? Because it could make like this person look even better. Because I remember listening to stories back in the day from the old veterans, like they wanted certain wrestlers to not flop, so they would be like, I don't know if this is a good idea for a finish for him, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you have a plans for somebody, you don't want them to like. There's certain things like I don't know. Just I don't know.
Yeah, but that's one of the things too that I don't understand about wrestling nowadays. Because I'm like, oh, okay, but what do I know, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, they're paying the people to do it, so you got to do what they want. It's like if someone's making a movie and the director's like, "Hey, I want you to do this for the scene," and the guy's like, "Nah, how about I do this?" Well, I'm paying you to do that. Okay. I mean,
Yeah, and it's not like the director can be like, well, okay, well, let's try my idea first and see how it looks, and then we can try your idea and see which one looks better.
yeah, something. But yeah, I mean, there's always room to work. Like most
Yeah,
promoters that I've worked with, if they want me to do something and I don't agree with all of it, I'll say, "Hey, what if we do this?" Like you still get the same result, and if we do, and then you know, a lot of times they agree, they'll go with it because they know I've been doing this so long. It's like I do know what I'm talking about.
yeah, absolutely. And I guess that leads into my next question. Like, and again, we don't have to you don't have to bury anybody. I'm just like asking, like, how do you feel like the difference between wrestling when you started to like where it is now?
uh Honestly, I don't think the younger guys have as much respect for the veterans as we used to in the back in the day. And I'm not saying that's everybody. Like, I mean, I have met so many respectful young guys out there that like there's this one guy, Precious. He works PPW, and I went with Kai because Kai had to do a show for them a couple months ago, and Precious was one of the opponents for Kai. And so I was like, I just told him, yeah, I saw him in the locker room like a month or something later for a different promotion. I was like, hey, I said that was a good match you had with PPW, and he's like, oh, good. He goes, can I ask you, did you see anything that I did that I can work on? I mean, I thought I was blown away. I don't get to hear that often, but for him, that was it felt good that like he's never really met me, just knew of me and stuff.
No, that's awesome. And no, I definitely can see that. And for me, and this is just my humble opinion, I feel like there's a lot of young wrestlers like because one of the things I like is history. And I remember reading books like on Lou Thez and Argentina Rocca, the kangaroos and all that. Like I don't really hear many young people like talk about those guys, like guys that went way back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, I guess again, what do I know? But yeah, and you kind of mentioned him a few times. For a lot of people that may or may not know, you have a son that's now in the wrestling business.
Yeah, Kai Thomas. He's been doing it about 2 years. Was trained by Rob Noxious and Malcolm King.
So was that something when you had kids? Is that something you ever thought like, hey, do you guys ever thought about becoming this?
No, I've never like when Kai was younger, he used to come to the training and jump around and like do stuff, but he never actually had like seemed like he had interest. He had never really watched wrestling, hardly any and did anything. But he I guess as he got older, he was going to go into the military, and so he talked to Rob and asked Rob. He said because Rob was close with us because we've been he's been around since Kai was like really young, so he knew. And so he was talking to Kai, and Kai was like, um, "Would you be able to train me enough to do one match with my dad. He goes, that's all I want to do. I just want to have one match with my dad before I go into the military. So Rob's like, yeah, absolutely. So him and Malcolm trained him enough, and we did our first match. And then he said he got bit by the bug, and that's like, yeah, from then on, that's all he wanted to do was wrestle.
What
And he's
branch?
been doing.
Oops, sorry.
And so he's been doing it about 2 years now.
No, that's awesome. What branch of the military was he planning on being a part of?
I think Air Force.
Oh, is he still planning on being in the military?
No, he has a kid now, and he's happy with being a dad, being at home all the time, and doing the wrestling and his regular job.
Oh,
My
nice.
Yeah, my 17-year-old, he wants to go into the Army when he graduates.
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
And
Caleb wants to go in the Army.
oh, well, I wish him well.
Yeah, but yeah, Kai, he's real good. He's a natural.
Do you think any of your other kids will plan on it? Because I got to meet a lot of them.
No. I don't think anybody else will. Joe, I think Kyle's the only one.
I was gonna say Law could probably throw down a few bit, huh?
Oh yeah, she probably could do it if she wanted, but yeah, she has no interest. She doesn't even. She hates when I do it. Hates when Kai does it. She doesn't like. Uh, she just hates seeing us and thinking we're hurt. So
She's just being a worried daughter and sister.
yep.
Oh yes, I remember those. It's crazy. It's crazy to see those kids become older now because I remember seeing them when they were a lot little.
Oh yeah, they've been around. Yeah, you guys since they were like 5, 6 years old.
Oh geez, time really does fly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yep. But yeah, like Olivia, she freaks out. She was so mad at me the one time I did a cage match, and I busted my head open and I nicked an artery, and I had blood just pouring. And I had to wrestle. I wrestled for like 30 minutes after that. And then after the match, I tried to just like sell it and milk it. So I was just like laying in the ring like I was dead. And Wolfman climbs into the ring and's like, man, your daughter's freaking out in the back. You need to go. I said, all right, selling's over. So I had to get up and go. I had to go back. I had to go be dad. But yeah, she was so mad at me. She didn't come to a show for the longest time. And then every time I had a show, she's like, you're not going to bleed? I'm like, no. She goes, okay, I can come.
She's got to get the okay first.
Yeah. But yep.
But how did it feel like being a dad? Like when you see your son like getting to wrestling.
Oh, it's awesome. I'm like, I'm a big fan of him. Like as I told him, when I actually get to see him wrestle, not when I actually, but when I watch his matches, other than the ones I'm part of, but when I'm just watching, show day, I'm dad. So I'll tell him, I'll be proud of him and doing all that stuff. I said the next day or something, I'll critique it and give him some of pointers and tell him what he did good, what he did bad, all this stuff. Like I'll critique his matches after. I said, but show days, I'm dad.
Do you ever get nervous when you see him get in the ring?
Certain things he does, but no, I mean, you really can't be because I've been doing it so long. I mean, anything like he could be playing outside and doing something at work and get hurt. So I mean, if he's meant to get hurt, he's gonna get hurt. So I mean, I don't worry too much about it because then I couldn't enjoy it as much if I was sitting there worrying.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And a lot of the guys that he wrestles, I trust them, so I know he's in good hands with most of the guys he wrestles.
Hey, well, like we said before, trust is a big thing when it comes to these matches.
Oh yeah, you have to trust because you're basically putting your body in their hands.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Yep.
Well, and you know me, I'm the king of optimism.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's one of the big things you have to have trust.
Oh, absolutely, and it's not like everyone's actually going to try to go out and hurt somebody.
No, I mean there has been people, but not with me. I mean, I haven't had anybody try to go out of their way to hurt me on purpose.
Well, and it probably wouldn't end well for them if they did, didn't it?
No.
But what do you think your son took from you from your career that brought him into his character?
Um, selling. He sells really good, and his facial expressions are way better than mine. Like he went above that on me. His athleticism. I mean, I was when I was around. Well, I wasn't doing it when I was his age, but when I was young like that, I first started. I was really agile, and I had a good. I was a high flyer. Uh, he pretty much you tell him what you need him to do, and he can pretty much do anything out there.
No, that's awesome. And you guys, like you said, you guys became a tag team. Like, what was the concept behind that?
Uh, he came up to me and asked me if I wanted to do. He said he didn't want to wrestle me anymore because he would rather me be his partner. So we talked to a couple promoters and we worked it out where now we're a tag team, the Heartbreakers.
I
See the
was just
shirt?
gonna, yeah, I was just gonna say, is that one of the shirts?
Yep, that's the shirt. That's the tag team shirt.
I was saying, like, where do you guys have them on Pro Wrestling Tees?
No, we just have them like I have them.
Ah, well, I said if you see these guys out in the local show, go buy the shirts.
Yeah, $20.
Hey, there you go. No, man, but so like, what are your future goals here for pro wrestling?
My future goals right now is getting Kyle as over as possible. I told him I would because my time's coming to an end soon. I mean, I'm going to be slowing down from doing it in a little bit. So I'm trying to help him make as many connections and help him out any way I can for the next couple of years. And so when I do stop, he can continue.
Well, to be honest with you, did you think? Do you think you would have lasted for this long?
Uh, yes and no. I'm not sure if I would be doing as many shows, but I mean, it's still in my blood. I mean, it's hard to just stop doing it.
No, absolutely. I mean, you hear that a lot from a lot of guys. I
Yep.
certainly miss a lot of those days, but
But yeah, I mean, I don't think I would be doing it as often, and I pretty much, honestly, I don't know if I'd still be doing it if Kai wasn't doing it.
no, absolutely. And
Because I was winding down. It was not as fun, and then once I started teaming with him and doing matches and doing stuff like that, and seeing him get better and better and having so much fun doing it, it like relit the spark under me, and like I felt young again.
no, man, that's awesome though. And since like you said, your goals, like you feel like your career is kind of winding down. How do you want your legacy and pro wrestling to be?
Uh, Professional. I was one of the most professional wrestlers, I would say. Like, I mean, didn't really, I rarely refuse to do anything, and I go out of my way to try to make the person I'm in the ring with better. I can wrestle with any size guys. That was one of my, I guess, strong points. Was you can put me with a cruiserweight, a giant. You can put me with pretty much anybody because with my size, I can. Well, not anymore, but back when I was younger, with my size, I was still over 200, and I was still able to work with the cruisers. I was able to fly around with them, and with the giants, I was still big enough and strong enough to make it look believable that I can hang with them. So, I mean, I was always able to work with anybody.
Hey, that's nothing wrong with that. It's a good
Nope.
thing to have. And well, Tyler, thank you so much for coming on my show today.
No, it's been a pleasure.
And it's
I had a
always
lot of fun.
yeah, no, it's always good to hear from you, even though I
Oh yeah.
know we're both busy with you work and me with
Oh yeah.
homecoming. But it's always good to hear from you. And
I mean, you're doing good on this thing. I mean, you got a lot going for you, dude.
well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm trying my best because
Yeah, you should be proud of yourself.
well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you and everything you've done for me and during my time with you guys. And it was quite a fun 6 years.
Oh yeah.
But once again, thank you so much. And for anyone listening, go support, indie wrestlers and support these guys. They're putting in a lot of work for little money.
True.
And once again, thank you so much for coming on. And
thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
yep. And to all you watching, love you all. God bless. Be safe, everybody.
Bye.